Look at that. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Is that Jimba? And that's you. Look, there's Jimba. And there's you. Hi. You see that? Huh? Look at that. Oh, hi. Apple and I were just watching some videos. She loves to see herself on the screen. However, it's now time for another edition of
Ask the Breeder.
Got some wonderful questions to deal with, so we are going to get to it right away. We can find everything we need on my messy desk. By the way, you see there's a whole mess of stuff all over my desk. This is actually pretty good. You should see it when it's in bad shape. Anyway, our first question comes from J-Boys. J-Boys asks, how often should I wash my dog? Well, bathing a dog is very important. It does help to control odor on the skin. It helps to strip the oil buildup from the coat. You know, the oil is essential for coat health, but you don't want it to be excessive. There are several considerations you should take into account when you think about how often to bathe your dog. It varies from one breed to another, from one coat type to another. If you have a flea infestation, or if your dog's been outside rolling around in the smelly stuff, obviously there's going to be some differences in how often the dog is bathed. But I can answer specifically for Cavaliers. Generally speaking, I think that a Cavalier should be bathed about once a month. And if you do it once a month, provided you supplement that with regular brushing and combing to make sure the knots don't build up, that should be perfectly fine. And don't forget, when you bathe the dog, make sure that you clip their nails, and don't forget, if they have dew claws, which are a little fifth claw on the front paws, those have to be paid special attention to. Our next question comes from Kimberly, who would like to know, how are your other dogs doing since Teg passed away? Most dogs, including Cavaliers, are quite adaptable. They adapt to comings and goings, and new dogs and old dogs going away without too much fanfare. We did find one thing interesting. Tag was a very quiet dog, but she had this habit of going out in the evening. She'd go through the doggy door, she'd go out to the deck behind our house, and she would just stare into space and give a couple of barks, woof woof this way and woof woof that way, and then come back inside again. Boo, on the other hand, her sister, who has been with her since the moment they were born, Boo generally did not do that. She was quiet when she was outside. Well, interestingly, since Tag is gone, Boo has started occasionally going outside and sitting on the deck and giving a couple of barks in each direction. We think that it might very well be her calling out to her sister. She was not there when her sister passed away, and she didn't have a chance to have some kind of finality to her sister's life. So we think that maybe she's just looking for her sister and calling out to her. The next question comes from Swim V. I think there's a bunch of M's in there. Who asks, my 6-month-old barks for a long time in the crate. Is this separation anxiety? It can be separation anxiety. However, there are many steps you can take to absolutely minimize and maybe totally eliminate that problem. I look at it as basically 3 essentials. Number 1 is rewards. Your dog should be rewarded when he or she is in the crate or goes into the crate. Whenever we put our dogs into the crate, we give them a very tiny little treat. And they know, and they go running into the crate because they know they're going to get that treat. Did you recognize the word treat? She's smart. They also get fed their meals in the crate. So that creates positive experiences with the crate and helps them to overcome any anxiety about not being around when you're leaving. Second is practice. You can practice by simply putting your dog in a crate with a treat and staying home and staying right in the same room with them. And they'll kind of get used to the fact that not every time they go into the crate are you going to be leaving them alone. You leave them in for 10-15 minutes, take them out again, and they'll feel good about it. And the third element is to just be calm about everything. Don't make a big deal about leaving. Don't make a big deal about getting the dog into the crate. Try to do it quietly, and the dog will get accustomed to it. Our fourth question is from Anna Rita, who by the way, is from Italy. Buongiorno, Anna Rita. I have cousins in Italy. Ciao cugini in Italia. Anyway, Anna Rita would like to know, can I feed my dog salmon croquettes? This makes me kind of want to be one of her dogs because salmon croquettes, wow, that would be great. But the long and the short of it is yes and no. Yes, you can feed them salmon. Salmon is actually a very good source of the omega-3 fatty acids, which are great for dogs. It helps with a few things. The omega-3s help, most importantly to me, the heart health. Very important for that. Also helps with brain function. Ooh, also helps to create healthy joints and a nice healthy coat. However, two cautions. Number one, the salmon should be well cooked. It shouldn't be raw or even like rare. And secondly, watch what other ingredients you put into those croquettes. There are certain ingredients, like onions, for example, that you might think is going to make a very tasty croquette. Onions are bad for dogs. So just be careful of those other ingredients. Treat those dogs well, Anna Rita. And our last question is from Master Gene. Yes, Master. I believe Master Gene might be from Germany. Guten Tag, if you are from Germany. I have more cousins in Germany, believe it or not. Anyway, Master Gene would like to know, how do I bring a dog into Germany from the United States? And I don't know if we're on the sending or the receiving end, but the person on the U.S. end of that would have to take care of most of the work. I've taken Boo on vacation to France, and it's pretty much the same throughout the EU. And so I've been through a lot of this stuff. But as far as I can tell, there are three essential elements of sending a dog from the U.S. to Europe. Number one, they have to have permanent identification. And the standard that's accepted now is microchip identification. So definitely the dog should be microchipped. Secondly, they have to have a rabies vaccine, and that rabies vaccine or the certificate showing the rabies vaccine being given within the year has to be no more than 21 days old. And third, and this is probably the most pain in the neck part of the whole thing, you have to have a certificate from a USDA certified veterinarian. Now the certificate is actually multi-pages. I've seen several versions of them, from 4 pages up to about 15 pages. We had to go through a very long thing with taking Boo to France just for about a 10-day vacation. You can find a listing online of which vets in your area are certified by the USDA. The tricky part of it is that it has to be within 10 days of travel. So you will have to have your dog examined by a USDA vet who will sign the certificate. You send it into the USDA, and you have to have it back and in your possession before you leave the US. Now, when we went on vacation, no one at any point asked us for that certification. So it's possible you can get away without it. But I suspect if you're actually exporting a dog to Germany, you're going to need that, because once the dog becomes resident of the EU, they are going to receive a pet passport, which is good throughout the European Union. And I don't think you're going to be able to get the pet passport without both the rabies certificate and the USDA certification. So, did you find that interesting, Apple? I don't think so. Anyway, I think she wants to get down. I think we'll stop watching videos now.